How long will it take for us to get our manifestations? If this is a subject that piques your interest, please stay tuned till the end of this segment. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. How long will it take to get our wish fulfilled? How long will it take for us to see our wish fulfilled in the 3D reality? Neville Goddard said that it depends entirely on your convictions. It could be a moment, it could be a year, it could be even longer. It depends on your convictions, right? As doubts vanish, you will begin to experience the fruit of what you have felt yourself to be. Now, this is very interesting because we all have varying degrees of practices, varying degrees of skills when it comes to manifesting. And that is very true. Same goes for meditation, same goes for sports, etc., etc. Why should it be different in manifestation, right? I talk on this channel about Ellen Hatzel, who used to be known as the contest queen. And I anointed her unofficially the greatest manifestor of all time. Now then, this was just for the sake of entertainment, obviously, but there's a lot of truth to it. She was known to be able to pretty much win each and every contest that she would enter. Now, I have a few instances where I have found that she had not won, but she was still on the podium. When I say she didn't win, she didn't necessarily win what she wanted directly. It happened a couple of times. But I digress. But I want to give you examples for you to understand that just because this person has had it has had a more easier path to manifestation, it doesn't mean that your path will necessarily be the same. It could be easier, it could be more difficult, or anything in between. But the thing is, like, we each have our own experience, and that's very important. And that's why in my book, sorry, my head is going. In my book, the book I wrote, I clearly stated that one has to understand that when we read about success stories, especially the ones that have a short timeline, I'm not saying they are false. Some of them obviously are false, but a lot of them are true. We should not compare our results with the results of other people. That's very, very important. Just because someone's closed his or her eyes and looped a particular scene, and after 2 weeks they got the money, they got the specific person, etc., it doesn't mean that it's gonna happen exactly this way for you. It might be in a shorter timeline, but generally speaking, it will be different and it might be longer. That's what I'm saying. And it does not mean that you are doing it wrong, that you are practicing the techniques in a way that is hindering your manifestation to come faster. It doesn't mean that. However, when Neville Goddard said it depends on your conviction, that's really true. Because there will be a bridge of incidents that would lead you to the moment you have impressed your subconscious mind until the realization of your wish fulfilled in the 3D reality, right? There will be a bridge of incidents. And the bridge of incidents, even if you were to compete, let's say, with someone who's trying to manifest the same kind of desire as you, would be completely different. Because you are you and this person is this person, right? Our circumstances, our upbringing, our conditionings, our beliefs, everything is different. Our lives are completely different in a million different ways. So he might get the same kind of wish faster. You might get your wish after he got his wish fulfilled, right? And And considering that you have both practiced equally well the techniques and have impressed the subconscious mind equally well. That's what I'm saying. So bridge of incident varies from person to person. So if you want to manifest, for example, a cup of coffee, because this is the number one example they give, but I will give you even something even simpler. Sometimes I stumble upon a word I don't understand. And miraculously, I would ask myself, not miraculously, sorry, I jumped the gun. I would ask myself, what is the meaning of this word? And I don't have a dictionary, or I don't want to go on the internet and find the definition right now, or I can't because I'm doing something else. What would generally happen is the same day, maybe a couple hours later, I will find the definition serendipitously because someone talks about it, or I watch a movie and it's pretty much defined, and things like that. Or you think about a song and you hear it later on. You know what I mean? Or you think about your friend and your friend calls you at the same time. Things like that. It happens why? Why does it happen so fast? That's what you have to understand. It happens fast because, number one, the bridge of incidents is really, really short. There's not a lot of things that need to happen from the moment you think about what is the definition until you get it. Or from the moment you think about your friend for him to reach your phone. Now, it might be a bit different if your friend is someone you haven't talked for a while. But I remember when I was still living in Paris and I was on the verge of calling one of my friends, and he would call me before I even got a chance to call him. And we all had this happen to us. We on the call with our friend and we tell him or her, I was about to call you. It's so interesting. That's synchronicity. Why? Because this is someone you're used to hanging out with. So you have less resistance, first of all. And plus, the bridge of incidents is very short. You know what I mean? So that's where Neville Goddard is completely right when he says that you need conviction. If, for example, I wanted to manifest a call from a friend, even someone that I'm used to hanging out with a lot, but for whatever reason I think, it's impossible or whatever, then yes, I'm creating barriers for myself. Because yes, the bridge of incidents is very short, but I'm creating the resistance as well. Now, this is just for a phone call. But let's say you were to want a bigger desire, as we all want, a specific person, money in the bank, a car, a house, a mansion, whatever the case may be. The more important thing we need to do is obviously impress the subconscious mind. And impress the subconscious mind and leave in the end as much as possible until it feels very natural. And by natural, I mean that it becomes something that is almost neutral to us and almost like, I wouldn't say like we feel like we already have it. Obviously, when we do it, there's a feeling of we are living it right now. When we are visualizing, when we are affirming, scripting, etc., etc. But it's more so that the desire, the feeling of desire is diminished. And a lot of times it will fade completely. And that's where you feel like you don't necessarily need to do the techniques as much because you already feel like you have done enough. Your mind will tell you, yeah, it's okay. You already feel, and you can easily test yourself by seeing that if you are being triggered negatively by something that will, generally speaking, put you in a state of lack, which is pretty much reacting to the 3D world. Let's say, for example, you see your specific person with another person, a third party as they call it. Generally speaking, it will tend to trigger you in a negative way before. But once you have practiced this, it doesn't matter. Whether you see them alone or whether you see them with someone, it doesn't matter. You're completely neutral about it because your mind has been conditioned to believe something else, to know that the reality is what you have thought, not what you see. But That's very important to understand. Yes, you have the conviction. Yes, you have impressed the subconscious mind correctly, unless you have been living in the end properly. Technically and logistically, you have done everything right. But the bridge of incidents is not up to you, which means what? The when and the how is not up to you. But I will not talk about the how right now. I'm talking about the when. The when will depends on something bigger than you. The God, as Neville Goddard said, or the universe, whatever the label you choose to put on this law. So it's not up to you. So when you read those stories about people manifesting a specific person, for example, in a short time frame, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, whatever you call short, use them just as inspiration, but understand that the time frame for you will be different from their time frame. Now, it might be the same because time is time, right? It might be 2 weeks as well as it could be 6 months like this person, right? But you should not think so much about this because the time is irrelevant, because as soon as you live in the wish fulfilled, the time becomes moot because you already have it in your mind. Now, for this reality to match the reality you have imagined is not up to you. It's not not up to you to quicken the pace, so to speak. The thing is, like, you have worked on the conviction. The time is not up to you. Because as soon as you work on the conviction, which is impressing the subconscious mind and living in the end, let's say visualizing, technically speaking, visualizing, for example, and affirming and the inner dialogues, inner conversations, right? For example, there are other ways. If you have done this properly to a certain extent where it feels natural, the desire will come as fast as it can. But it doesn't mean that it will come instantaneously or as fast as someone else's desire has come to them. Because your bridge of incident is different from their bridge of incident. You know what I'm saying? So don't forget that it will come in the appointed hour. Your appointed hour, not someone else's appointed hour. So do not be dissatisfied with the time delay. It's not necessarily you that you are pushing away. Now, if you have contradictory thoughts and if you are dwelling on negative thoughts and reacting and stuff like this, obviously you are keeping it away, but that's where you need to put more work in. But in the case where you are actually doing all the work and doing it properly, I use work with quotes, obviously. When you're doing the techniques and when you're relaxing and when you're practicing the subconscious mind properly, and when you are living in the end, and you will know it, you'll feel it, that it becomes, obviously the majority of time, you feel good about your desire and you don't get triggered as much or at all. And you, on top of your mental diet, then you know it's going well. Your mind will make you feel that it's going well. And even then, you should always tell yourself it's going well. You should always affirm that things come to you easily and effortlessly and quickly. Yes, that will help. But there will be still a timeline that is customized, so to speak, to your particular seed and being. That's all I have to say, pretty much. So don't worry too much about the when. The when doesn't matter. As soon as you visualize it, you should feel as you have it. Now, if you focus too much on the when, also, it's an indicator that you don't feel like you have it right now, which pretty much, in other words, means that you need more practicing, so to speak. You need to feel more of the wish fulfilled, which means that you need to close your eyes, relax, be in a passive state, in the drowsy state, in the state akin to sleep, and impress your subconscious mind in a way that will make the seed flourish and will make the seed feel like it's natural, that it has been planted. And by that, I mean that you feel natural about your wish fulfilled and the intense feeling of desire, which is lack. Desire is lack, as I said in many of my videos. So once the lack / desire is, the intensity of the desire and lack is very, very decreased or not even there anymore, then you know that you feel the wish fulfilled. That is living in the end because you have done it. And generally speaking, it will translate as your mind telling you that you don't need to do that much. It will be organic because it's natural. You don't need to do all those techniques that much anymore because you already feel like you have it. You know what I mean? So that's it for now. Thank you so much for listening till the end. If you want more content along the lines of manifestation, and more specifically Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy, and David Hawkins, my specialty, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps my channel grow, and I'm very, very thankful for that. Thank you so much. And if you want my guidance, I am Sebastian, manifestation, mindset, and meditation coach. Please check the link in the description box below, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.